Hi, I'm Mike from Michael's Motor Cars, located in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Today I have a really interesting Mercedes-Benz I'd like to show you. Come on over and take a look at it. This car is a 1961 Mercedes-Benz 190B sedan, a pontoon car, and it is a very unique car which I'd like to show you the journey that this car went through in about a 5-year, extremely thorough restoration. So to begin with, and we'll list all these photos, this is how the car arrived at the guy that restored this car at his house outside of Boston. I was really pleased to be able to get this car. I saw it a while ago and I knew it was a really good car and was very excited, but the widow was not ready to sell it. And then about a month or two ago, she called us up and said she was ready to let it go. So I was really thrilled because I knew there was a really secret car hiding under this, under the dust from sitting in the garage. What happened to this car, it received a restoration that normally 190Bs don't get. My first clue, and we have tons and tons of receipts and records and photos of this restoration. The first clue I had, a lot of parts were purchased from Miller's Incorporated in Monroe, North Carolina, and there's a receipt for $3,000 for many of the subframe parts. The cap rails, the longitudinal rails, and a whole bunch of stuff under the car, which I realized was all replaced on this car. So the more we looked at this car and then looked at the photos and went through the receipts, the restoration this car received is something normally a 300S or a Gullwing would have gotten. We have receipts from RMR Restorations, who did the body work, the paint work, and all of that, down to bare metal, of over $200,000. So you just don't normally put that kind of money into a 190B. So let me show you. The car was restored basically from 2010 to about 2015. Today, it's holding up very well. The paint has a few minor flaws, but nothing serious. It's no longer Concours, the paint. Everything else is very close. The chrome is gorgeous. I believe all of the chrome was redone. Beautifully done. It has a very nice, like new shine to it. All of the lenses and lights are really, I would say, perfect on the car. The radiator shell is perfect. There are no marks or scratches or anything on the verticals or horizontals. The engine itself is in excellent condition visually and mechanically. Has all of his stickers. We also have receipts for all of the parts he purchased. The engine did receive a complete overhaul. It has all new pistons, all new bearings, new timing chains, new valves, new guides. Everything was done on the inside of the motor. We have photographs of the entire subframe out of the car, the rear axle out of the car, everything stripped down. So this is what I would call a nut and bolt restoration, extremely thorough, with very high attention to detail. These Mercedes-Benzes, out of the 50s and into the early 60s, the build quality of these cars is incredible. And when you look at details like the marker lenses on the side here, they're just beautiful. The little lenses are all here. They're all correct. It's a white lens on the front. It's a red lens on the back, and it's yellow on the side. We also received boxes and boxes of spare parts that came with the car, which will show all of those. The interior was completely redone. It is MB Tex on the seats. The wood on the dash cap is absolutely stunning. The finish on it is excellent, and it's a beautiful wood grain. The ivory steering wheel, again, I don't use the term perfect very often, but this is, I would say, Concours quality. All of the rubber trim is correct. He was sourcing a lot of parts from Mercedes-Benz Classic, and through his copious notes that he has written back and forth as he was going through details, he was a very highly detail-oriented guy. Black headliner, and it's just stunning. The overall appearance of the car is just stunning. Here you can see the rear. Here's the ashtrays. All of the hardware is correct. Of course, all of this is new. All of the cushions are new, all replaced during the restoration. Going along to the back of the car, all the trim is excellent. The rubber was all replaced. The rear lenses are excellent. The rear chrome. Everything on the car is just done to a very high standard. The trunk, he had purchased a new Mercedes-Benz toolkit in the proper blue bag. This is all new. These are all the tools. A new rubber mat with the car. Of course, the spare and the jack. It's painted the proper matte black finish. And then when you're buying a car like this, there's always a question, how well was it really done? I mean, we can see it now, but it's so nice to get the history on the car. And over here, he had a bunch of service manuals, repair manuals, a CD disc from Mercedes-Benz. We have oodles and oodles of pictures of the car during the restoration. There we have the subframe assembly out. We have many pictures showing how it was taken down to bare metal. Surprisingly, we see a lot of pictures of bare metal of the hood and the doors. Here's a door. And they're all quite good. So it is interesting that the top of the car was actually pretty good, but then they chose to replace most of the subframe of the car. Over here, and we won't be able to take pictures of all of this, but all of these receipts of parts and service having been done, it's just unbelievable. And a lot of parts were sourced from Mercedes-Benz Classic Center. So everything was correct and done properly. And he has all of his notes about the work. This is some of the engine work that was done, all of the parts that he ordered. So it's easy to track all of this. We did not add up what was spent on this car. That's one invoice alone for the body work that was over $200,000. So probably I would estimate $250,000 was spent on this car. So here you have it as it is today. Fast forward, it's been driven lightly. It has not been driven very far. It doesn't have many miles on the restoration. The paint's worn in a little bit. There are no dents or dings anywhere on the car. The chrome trim is excellent. And please take the time, watch our driving video. These cars are just lovely cars to drive. They just have that Mercedes-Benz feel, that wonderful combination of being relatively softly sprung. The engine is surprisingly peppy for a four-cylinder. It's cool, it's fun to drive it as a four-speed manual. The transmission shifts perfectly. The synchromesh is excellent in all four gears. It does have synchromesh in first gear also. Clutch action, steering action, brakes are all what you would expect from a 100% restored car. There is a slight mark on the windscreen right here. I don't know if that can be polished out. It's difficult to photograph it, but there's a little stain in the glass right there. And that's about it. I mean, the overall car is stunning. They did take it around. They did go to different shows with the car. Sadly, the guy passed away, and then the car sat for a bit in the garage, but it was resuscitated back to life quite easily. It's a car that was happy to come back to life and get back into things. So this is a car where it's really hard to equate how much money was spent on this car, documented with receipts and all the records and all the photographs. And here it is. It's a 190B. So these cars have been increasing in popularity. People recognize what they are in the Mercedes-Benz transition from the mid to late 50s into the 60s. It's a significant car for Mercedes-Benz. And the neat part is they're really fun cars. Really fun to own, really fun to drive. This car is virtually a new car again. So we're very excited about this auction, anxious to see the results, see how it does. Please ask us any questions you may have. We'll be happy to provide them. We strongly encourage people to come see and inspect this car or send someone to come and inspect it. Because of the level of restoration that was done, we're not able to show all of the receipts in the auction. There are pages and pages and pages, but we will try and summarize them and give you a sense of what was really done to this car. So thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and we are just so pleased and so proud to get a car like this that's in this condition. Thank you.